like a rose under the April snow. Yeah, well, it's not quite April, but it's March. And
that you have to rely on yourself and your own senses, because you've done your research, you've forgotten all that bullshit that you may have learned. And most people who you talk to about what the spinning ball has to do, where it has to travel, the speed it has to be going at to serve the heliocentric model, which is a complete nonsense. They usually are very unfamiliar with all the speeds and stupid movements. The corkscrewing planets going around the sun, which is travelling at breakneck speed, let me tell you. But of course we don't feel a thing. So don't let people tell you that, because I mean, tell you that's true. Do you know that? I mean, do you know that that's what it's if you're a flat earther, I don't like the term, but there you go. But if you're a flat earther, of course you'll know all that, because that's one of the things that made you think, what? I supposed to believe in that bullshit? Goodbye. No, it just makes you inquire further. And when you get to the thing called the Great Attractor, well, I've got not so great attractor in my field. It's just total fucking shit. Well, if you're empty and aching and you don't know why, maybe it's because you haven't discovered the Earth is not a spinning ball yet. Come on, catch up. Then I would, yes, of course, because I do believe in fighting fire with fire. Winston Churchill ordered the bombing of German cities, and then, of course, Hitler fought fire with fire, and then he started bombing Britain. Don't think it's the other way around, people, because it isn't. I'm not saying he was right. Who's right and wrong about that? Well, both were wrong. But I'm just saying, don't think Winston Churchill, don't put him on a pedestal, because he was well, whatever he wasn't a very nice person. Why did I say that? I don't know. Because that's what I think about him. So that's my opinion. But I think these days, if we thought that Theresa May, who is the current Prime Minister of Britain, drank a bottle of some type of champagne or something for breakfast, I don't think she would have much respect. But then, well, hey, if Keith Richards drank a bottle of champagne for breakfast, big respect. So how does it work? I mean, I don't respect anybody who gets pissed all the time. I think they've got a problem. That's what it is. That's what it boils down to. And maybe Winston Churchill's problem was Hitler, but I don't think so. I think he was drinking well before Hitler came onto the scene. That's nothing to do with anything really, but I've just said it, so I might never see you again. Maybe sometime. Yeah, well, that was just utter horse shit. Captain Scott of the Antarctic. Fuck off. If my eyes look a bit pinned, it's because I've just loosened the tourniquet. That's just ridiculous. I feel quite nice actually. A bit sick. You always do feel a little bit nauseous, but top hole. I brought a bucket of snow into the shed. I don't know, sometime in the morning, 10 o'clock maybe, something like that, mid-morning it was. And I'm looking at it now and it's still completely frozen. It's still snow. And I also, having boiled some water to make some tea, maybe I had half a cup of water left in the kettle, maybe a bit more. And I poured that into the bucket I thought, to accelerate the thawing process. And it didn't seem to do any good whatsoever. It's very cold. Saturday night, 9 o'clock. One should be coming up. I think I'm just wasting batteries. Yes, okay. I'm not living in a fantasy world. In fact, I'm living in the real world. And the shape of that world is certainly not a spinning ball flying through the vacuum of infinite space, which is utter bullshit. But I suppose at the moment I look more like Uncle Peter. Donkey! Up and go well! And all that. Who actually is a fine actor. I can't remember his name. I was trying to remember his name, but I can't. Just can't remember it now. But actually, if you look at the old episodes of Vic and Bob, some of the old episodes, there's loads of great people who have since become much more famous in their own right as comedians and actors. But I don't know whether you remember the little sketch where there was a chap crying because Uncle Peter had stolen his Top Cat videos. Well, the chap that was crying was actually Steve Coogan. Yeah. Just it's not Blue Peter, you know. I didn't actually put this cat on my lap before we started. In fact, I switched the camera on, and she jumped up, and she's purring away, and she might just settle down on my lap if I'm lucky, maybe. And there she goes. Yeah. Anyway, I know everybody doesn't like cats, but I do. I don't dislike any animal, I don't think. I'm not that keen on rats, actually. Not in here. But I've never had a rat in here, but I would freak out if I found one in here. Mice, it doesn't bother me. Well, she brings them in live, sometimes dead, but live mostly, and then, of course, releases them, and she's got something to play with. Instead of me, because I'm a boring old fart. If you have an idea, you have to run it by whoever's in charge before you can personally accept it, which is utter nonsense. You've got a brain, use it, because that's what it's all about, right, people. But if you think water curves around a ball, just go ahead and think that, because there isn't a great deal I can do or anybody can do for you. They haven't perfected head or brain transplants yet, so I'm afraid that you're stuck with that one. Who the fuck would want to be like me? No, it's about information, real information. Get it across, get it out there, tell the people that you care about. Because if everybody did that, the message would spread. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people who feel embarrassed even about it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm so far beyond the globe. I think now the globe is it's so childish. It's ridiculous. It's like one of those space hoppers for me. That's how I see you know, and somebody would say the Minister of Transport has insisted we all use space hoppers to go to work or something as heavy goods vehicles, or, you know, something so ridiculous, because that's what it is. What it is. It just, come on, just, it is nonsense. And to see my friends actually still believing in that utter bullshit, it disturbs me. It really does. So I'm a bit skeptical, I must say. I can't really, even when I see it, if I do see it, I can't get behind it. I'm sorry, but he also claims that people will say, "Oh, of course." Well, I don't think that's really possible, is it? He may have sussed out something to do with the electricity, the magnetism, and all that. Maybe the toroidal fields, or if you can explain the tides, that would be a thing. I'd really like to know what they're about. You know, what makes them work. They are quite, you know, well, they're fascinating, interesting, and I'd love to know.
I've got to ask you, Del. You must know what a growler is, Del. You must know.
Hello! I'd like to talk to you all about the shape of the Earth. Obviously, it's not a spinning ball. And if you think it is, you belong on the Muppet Show. Not actually doing that, but doing that. I.e., you are a fucking Muppet. Fozzie Bear springs to mind. You know, the really stupid bear. Because you have to be incredibly stupid to believe Brian Cox.